Hello, friends who are watching us on Zoom, as well as those of you who are on streaming today, and those of you who are watching us on YouTube today. We have more ways to watch us than ever, and and we're of course being recorded. Today, I brought for you a story I want to share. It's a famous story written by a famous Yiddish writer whose name was I.L. Peretz. And he wrote this story. He passed away in 1915, wrote this story probably sometime around the year 1900. And it's a favorite story for this time of the year. So let me share it with you. Early every Friday morning at the time of the prayers, the rabbi of Nemirov would vanish during the prayer service. He was nowhere to be seen, neither in the synagogue nor in the two study houses, nor at a minyan, and he was certainly not at home. His door stood open. Whoever wished to go in and out, no one would steal from the rabbi, but not a living creature was within. Where could the rabbi be? Where should he be? In heaven, no doubt. A rabbi had plenty of business to take care of just before the days of awe, before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Jews, God bless them, needed livelihood, peace, health, and good matches. They wanted to be pious and good, but sins are great, and Satan, of 1,000 eyes, watches the whole earth from one end to the other. What he sees, he reports, he denounces, and he informs. Who can help us if not for the rabbi? That's what people thought. But once a Jew came, he was a Litvak, and he laughed. You know those Litvaks. They think little of the holy books, but stuff themselves with Talmud and law. And so this Litvak points to a passage in the Gemara. It sticks in your eyes, where it is written that even Moses, our teacher, did not ascend to heaven during his lifetime, but remained suspended 2.5 feet below. Go argue with a Litvak. So where could the rabbi be since he's not in heaven? That's not my business, says the Litvak, shrugging. Yet all the while, what a Litvak can do, he is scheming to find out. That same night, right after the evening prayers, that Litvak steals into the rabbi's room, slides under the rabbi's bed, and waits. He'll watch all night and discover where the rabbi vanishes in the morning and what he does during the prayers. Someone else might have gotten drowsy and fallen asleep, but that guy, that Litvak, is never at a loss. He recites the whole tractate of Talmud by heart, and at dawn, he hears that there's the call for prayers. The rabbi had already been awake for a long time. The Litvak had heard him groaning for a whole hour. Whoever has heard the rabbi of Nemirov groan knows how much sorrow for all Israel, how much suffering lies in each groan. A man's heart might break hearing it, but a Litvak is made of iron. He listens and remains where he is under the bed. The rabbi, long life to him, lies on the bed, and the Litvak under the bed. Then the Litvak hears the beds in the house begin to creak. He hears people jumping out of their beds, mumbling a few Jewish words, pouring water, and banging doors. Everyone is left. It's again quiet and dark, and a bit of light from the moon shines through the shutters. Afterwards, the Litvak admitted that when he found himself alone with the rabbi, a great fear took hold of him. Goose pimples spread across his skin, and the roots of his payas prickled him like needles. A trifle to be alone with the rabbi at the time of the prayers, but a Litvak is stubborn, so he quivered like a fish in the water and remained where he was. Finally, the rabbi, long life to him, arises. He goes and he gets his clothes and he takes his bundle of clothes, trousers, boots, coat, felt hat, long, wide leather belt. The rabbi gets dressed, and from the end of his pocket dangles the end of a heavy peasant rope. The rabbi leaves. The Litvak follows. And on the way, the rabbi stops in the kitchen, bends down, takes an axe, puts it into his belt, and leaves the house. The Litvak is scared now, and he continues to follow. The hushed dread of the days of awe hang over the streets. Every once in a while, a cry rises from some minion that they can hear reciting the prayers. The rabbi hugs the sides of the street, keeping to the shade of the houses. He glides from house to house, and that Litvak, he follows him. Now, right outside of town, there's a small wood stand. The rabbi, long life to him, enters the little wood shed. He takes 30 or 40 steps and he stops by a small tree. The Litvak, overcome with amazement, watches the rabbi take the axe out of his belt and strike the tree. He hears the tree creak and fall. The rabbi chops the tree into logs and the logs into sticks. He makes a bundle and he ties it with a rope in his pocket. He puts the bundle on his back and he shoves the axe into his belt. And he returns to the town. He stops at a back street and knocks at the window. "Who's there?" asks a frightened voice. The Litvak, he recognizes it as the voice of a sick Jewish woman. "I," answers the rabbi. "Who is I?" Again, the rabbi answers, but in Russian, not in Yiddish. "Vassal. Who is Vassal and what do you want?" "I have wood to sell, very cheap." And not waiting for the woman's reply, he goes into the house. The Litvak steals in after him, and in the gray light of early morning, he sees a poor room with a broken, miserable furnishings. A sick woman wrapped in rags lies on the bed. She complains bitterly, "Buy? How can I buy? I have no money." "I'll lend it to you," answers the person who called himself Vassal. "It's only 6 cents." "And how will I ever pay you back?" says the woman. "Foolish. See, you're a poor, sick Jew, and I'm ready to trust you with a little wood. I'm sure you'll pay. While you have such a great and mighty God, and you don't trust him for 6 cents. And who'll light the fire?" says the widow. "I don't have any strength to get up. My son's at work." "I'll light the fire," answered the rabbi. The rabbi put the wood in the oven. He recited the first portion of the prayers, and he kindled the fire, and the wood burned brightly. He recited a bit more joyously the second portion of the prayers. And when the fire was set, he recited the third portion of the prayers, and he shut the stove. The Litvak who saw all this would become a student of the rabbi. And ever after, when another disciple tells how the rabbi of Nemirov ascends to heaven at the time of the prayers in the morning, the Litvak does not laugh. He only adds quietly, "If not higher, if not higher." Friends, it's Mourner's Kaddish. You can recite with me the Mourner's Prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbam. Bi'alma divra kirite v'yamlich malchute. V'chayechon v'yamechon v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbam v'varach v'elam le'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitboar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yidadar v'yidaleh v'yidalal shemei d'kudesha barichu. Li'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tishbechata v'nechamata damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba b'shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Thank you all. I appreciate you all being with me today. And we'll see you next Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock for another bit of Jewish spirituality. Have a good evening, everybody. See you on Yom Kippur as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.